And a very good evening, everybody, and welcome into another edition of the Hockey Night on Flyers pregame show. Tonight, the Philadelphia Flyers play host to this last and final time of the 2024 not regular season, but the last time of 2024 on the home slate as they battle the Columbus Blue Jackets as they meet up for the second time this season. Thanks a lot for joining me tonight. Once again, I'm your host, James Scorza, for the next 15 minutes or so. As for the Philadelphia Flyers, trying to avoid another 5-game losing streak has always been the determination the last few years for this Orange and Black club, but never been the case here for the last couple games against very good clubs, obviously against very good teams, and also against teams that are very good and sometimes are very inconsistent as always. But we always try to do is that we try to make a very good first impression. But tonight it should be a very good, probably have to get off to a better note than they have the last previous games. As we always do, we recap this previous game like we always do on the last couple nights, obviously. So the Flyers, the last time the Flyers took on a team against each other was on Thursday night as they took on the Los Angeles Kings, as they took on a very good Los Angeles Kings team coming off their last game on the road trip. And basically the shot advantage in that first period was all Los Angeles in the first period and had the shot advantage of 6-5. And it looked to me that the Flyers had some opportunities of shots on goal in that first period, but it came at a cost as the Kings will retrieve the puck. And finding it was Kevin Fiala, and he gave the LA Kings an early 1-0 lead early on in the first couple minutes of the first stanza. Later on in the first period, around the first period, as the Flyers shot advantage, actually, there was a shot that a little bit of a stat according to ESPN Plus's telecast, as they put out there that the Flyers haven't had a shot in the last 13 minutes of play. And finally, we'll get a shot on goal, and this time Noah Cates will finally break the hazard and beat Darcy Kemper short side to tie the score up at 1-1 apiece. And it will stay that way after 20 minutes in the books. To the second we go, as just a couple minutes into the second period, the Flyers looking to try to get it, or get the Kings rather looking to try to get a response, and they will find it with Tanner Jeannot at just a minute 30 seconds into the period, and just like that, the Kings retrieve their lead at 2-1 in favor of LA. Inside the second period we go, and around the 8:30 minute mark of the second stanza, Scott Lund was stopped by the Kings goaltender Kemper, and Tyson Foerster will get his first of 2 goals of that first period and will nod the game up at 2-2 apiece. Later on in the second, the Flyers are going to try to get a response, and they will do it once again thanks to Tyson Foerster, and this time he will give the Flyers a 3-2 lead late in the second period. Late in the second period we go, and inside the last couple minutes of the second period, and the Kings will try to get a response, and they would do once again. This time was Andrei Kopitar getting the equalizer and tying the score up again for the Kings at 3-3. Inside the third period and early on in the third period, just like it was in the second period, Kings looking to try to get a response and will find it as they found a goal by Roran Fogle, the former Edmonton Oiler, and also a big piece of that 2024 Western Conference champion Oiler team will get the Kings their first lead since the first period at a 4-3 lead. But the wheels will fall off for the Flyers as the Kings will score 3 more in that third period and will win by a touchdown, and the Kings scored a touchdown, and the Flyers only got a field goal out of it. So it was a 7-3 final Thursday night at the Wells Fargo Center. Setting the stage for tonight's game, as the Flyers, like we always like to do here, is the Flyers always try to do something that they haven't done in a while, is that they haven't won a game in a while, and it's hopefully it'll be the case here tonight against a very good team. Well, not a very good team, but more like they are 500 as best, as the Flyers are trying to avoid a 5-game losing streak like I brought up early on in the show. And their struggles against very good teams, and they play good against bad teams, but they haven't played well against good teams, and that's been a real cause for concern going back to Boston a couple Saturdays ago when everything started to snowball ever since. And for Columbus, they're right where the Flyers are. They are right at 7th and 8th in the Metropolitan Division, only have a five or having or like I would just say that they are a 500 team at best. I guess that's the thing that we always like to hear about it, is that usually against 500 or below 500 teams, I guess it's something to poke your head around. But I think that's the one thing you have to do more than anything, is that you have to do a better job against better teams like that. So for me, Columbus could be a real good tall test to get a right game, especially when you go into Pittsburgh on Monday night before the holiday break. I expect that more the same here tonight. So Columbus is one team that we saw them before, and we know what they're made of. They have very good defensemen like Zach Werenski. They have a really good players. I mean, obviously they lost Johnny Gaudreau tragically during the summer, and Sean Monahan has become a real good tall test ever since the tragedy of Johnny Gaudreau over the summertime. So, I mean, it's good to know that they're starting to feel like they have to turn that negative into a positive. It's going to be pretty of an emotional night here in South Philadelphia, because this is the first time since that tragedy that happened. It'll be an emotional night for both the Flyers and Columbus Blue Jackets as they meet up for the first time here in South Philadelphia for the first time this season. But let's go who's trending up and who's trending down on this night. Well, for who's trending up, I think it's good to see Tyson Foerster trending up in a good direction. I haven't seen him do very much this season. Kind of like he's been not concerning for the most part, but he's been doing pretty well as of lately. It's good to know Owen Tippett's doing pretty well as well. I really did like to see a couple goals that Noah Cates scored a couple nights ago. Was really good to see the Flyers get some players like that are not named Travis Konechny or Matvei Michkov to help that load a little bit. So I think that's going to be the biggest key I take out of this game here tonight. So for me, that's going to be who's trending up, but who's trending down. Man, this is a tough one, because I don't know who's trending down for Columbus or trending down for the Flyers. But scoring goals is really key for this Flyers team. Obviously, we talked about it before. But also winning against teams that are like one time they're either taking on a team that's below 500 or a team that's over 500. It's something that has to be a reminder going into the season. I'm going into closer and closer. We get closer to the All-Star break, into the second half of the season. It would also be a good reminder too, is that if the Flyers can find a way to score and also get leads and also try to hold the leads along with that as well, that should be a very good tall task for the Orange and Black, because it's not a lot to be trending down. Obviously, it's a rebuilding season, and everybody's been talking about, okay, what do we do here? Even John Tortorella is not too worried about it. I know he's changed up his lines a little bit. He sended basically the one thing I took out of this too is that if we get into the injuries and scratches, Emil Andre, that was the one thing that really shocked me this week. Got sent back down to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and I believe it's I guess they're bringing back up somebody back from the injury list. So I'm expecting that's probably why Emil Andre went back down. Kind of concerning a little bit about that, but he's still a young player, so he has a lot to develop. So I'm looking forward to in that matchup tonight. So, all right, let's check out who are the injuries and scratches tonight for the Flyers. If I can look it up real quick, trying to do the best I can to try to do this a little instead of my old usual schedule. So I believe it's the same injuries that the Flyers had a couple times before. So let's see, injury report. It's probably the same as before. I would expect nothing the same out of it. Actually, no, there is no injuries in this game tonight. So looks like everybody's back fully healthy. Nick Deslauriers is still, I guess he's back tonight. I guess a healthy scratch. Like I said, Sam Ersson back at the last couple games. Cam York was a scratch a couple days ago, so I'm expecting him to be back here tonight because Emil Andre is back with Lehigh Valley. So that should be a good thing too, being fully healthy for this game here tonight, and especially going on to the Western road trip between the teams that we mentioned, like San Jose and the Kings that we just saw on Thursday, and a trip to Anaheim, and even a trip to Vegas on the day after New Year's. So that's going to be a real good tall test for them. So it's good to know that the Flyers are fully healthy with no injuries, and probably the scratches will probably be still the same. I expect more of the same here tonight. So it will be basically the same guys. If Cam York and are back here tonight, and I expect that to be the same. Like I said, Emil Andre again sent down to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms on around this week, so I expect him to be back very, very soon. And I think the reason why they probably brought back a player up here and there is that's probably why if Nick Delorier is coming back in this game tonight, I expect that's probably why they had to send down Emil Andre, because they got a fully healthy roster coming into this game on the last game of the 2024 home slate here at the Wells Fargo Center. As we check out our starting goaltender matchup like we always do, and I expect it will be Sam Ersson back in goal again tonight for the Flyers. Just give me 1 sec. I'm just doing trying to do this a little bit of rarity for me, because I'm just trying to do this like I'm trying to hit the post at the best way I can. Sorry about that. So let's see who's starting in goal tonight for the Flyers. Okay, it's in goal tonight. Like I mentioned, it is Sam Ersson in goal tonight for the Flyers, who is 6-5-2 on this season with a 3.03 goals against average. And in goal for the Blue Jackets, like it was the last couple of times these two clubs met against each other, is Elvis Merzlikins once again for Columbus, who's 10-9-2 this season and has a goals against average of 3.05. So it's Ersson for the Flyers, and it's Elvis Merzlikins in goal for Columbus, as that will be the goaltender matchup tonight. And I hope the Flyers will get a good challenge out of it as we get into our predictions. It should be a real good reminder here tonight for the Flyers as we get closer and closer to puck drop. This could be a get-right game for the Flyers. So I expect that to be more of the same here tonight. If the Flyers can get a good get-right game against Columbus, look, I don't expect them to lose a majority of their games like they used to do back in the day, because this was around the time when they actually have like games that they won 10 straight and then they lose 10 straight. Somehow, in some way, it's like, I guess it's a little bit of a good reminder to, like, this will be a good get-right game, especially going up to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, on the other hand, has not played very well this year. That will be a good tall test for them this coming week, obviously. I would not expect this will be if you want to get 2 wins out of it before the holiday break, you have to play against, when you play Columbus, I think that will be a good win here tonight for the Flyers. And go up to it used to be called the Igloo up in Pittsburgh, but they changed hands the last few years, as they will be at PBG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh for Monday night's game on the last game before the holiday break. So like I said, that is my predictions, and I say the Flyers will win tonight. I would hope the Flyers get off that 5-game losing streak and do whatever they can to get back on a winning streak here tonight, especially against teams that are under 500. All right, that is a wrap for me today. That is a wrap for this Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. But remember to stay tuned. After the game, I will be back for the postgame show for the Third Line John Flyers postgame show with myself, yours truly, alongside Joey Marks and the Gobbler Papinar behind the glass once again. Thanks a lot for joining me tonight once again. I really do appreciate it. And also, we are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We're on Twitch. Well, I don't say Twitch, but maybe get closer. If I can have a Twitch account, I'll probably get that a little bit interested in doing that. But we're on social media, so if you ever want to reach out to a comment and just say, let's go Flyers, it always helps by all means. But until then, like I said, thanks a lot for joining me tonight. And this has been the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. I will see you back here at the postgame show. Until then, thanks a lot for joining me and enjoy the game. And we will see you next time.